Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is get a fresh onion, and I just cut like a quarter off of it. It's a large onion because I like lots of onions in mine, but it's really dependent upon what your taste is. Like my mom doesn't like to cook with lots of onion and garlic, but I like lots of extra onion and garlic.
Someone at the bar, where loose ends still have uses. It's complicated. This time I think it could be triangulated. It could be just what we need. So what you say we give it up and walk away? We're overrated anyway.
And voila, there's your onion and garlic. Okay, so I know a lot of you guys are unfamiliar with tofu, but this is the firm tofu. You can go in any store like Publix or even Walmart has firm tofu. Now you can see that it's submerged in water. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to drain this. The main goal is to try to get the tofu as dry as possible because we want the tofu to retain the taste of whatever we want to put onto it, not whatever water it was soaked in. So you can see me shaking out the water, and I didn't rinse it. I didn't rinse the tofu itself with water, but if you want to, you can do that. The next thing I do is I pat it dry. If you put down a paper towel, you can pat it dry yourself, and pat each of them really, really dry, because we want them to take up the seasoning that we want them to have. Okay, this next part is definitely my favorite part in the entire recipe. You're going to take the tofu, put it in a medium to large bowl, and set it on the counter, and then you're going to just squish it. You're going to squish it to little bits so it's like really, it's not in that square form anymore. My mom does this with a fork. You can do that if you are a chicken and don't want to get your hands dirty and have lots of fun, but you know, it's all up to you. You make it what you make it. And as you can see, I'm just squishing away until it gets to this texture. Okay, we're going to be using a little bit of iodized salt, garlic powder, chili powder, and black pepper, and the special ingredient, Sazon Goya.
Here we go. Shake it, 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 shake it like a Polaroid picture. Shake it, shake it.
Okay, so this is how it's going to look after all the seasoning is put in. It looks like it's a lot, but tofu has no taste, so you need a lot of seasoning to make it actually taste like something. That's what a lot of people forget to do when they cook tofu, and it ends up tasting really nasty. So then we're going to mix it, and we're going to keep mixing it until it gets really incorporated into the tofu, and every single little piece has some seasoning in it. And that's really, really important that you get every single piece coated in the seasoning. You can add more if you want, but that's all that I use. So the next thing we're going to use is no salt added tomatoes. Yes, I use Great Value brand because I'm a college student. So now we're opening the cans. I use a can opener. You use whatever you want. I'm just really lazy, so you can use fresh tomatoes, but this will do. It's really easy. Really, I mean, it works. I'm using canola oil. You can use whatever oil you want, vegetable oil, whatever, sunflower oil. You saute the onions until they get clear and you can see through them. They turn a little yellowish. And then after you saute the onions, what you're going to do is you're going to add the tofu. And add the tofu in there. And we're going to add the tofu first because, believe it or not, there's still lots of water inside that tofu that needs to escape and needs to cook down. So that's added first before the tomatoes is. Tomatoes is, but anyways, you go in there, put them in the pot, cover them so they can sweat out, and you can just see the condensation and all of it. See, it's already getting really watery. You can see it's already like losing some water. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the sazon, and this will give it this really great orange yellow kind of color to it, and a really delicious flavor as well. It'll lend a lot of flavors to the dish, and after you mix it, it'll be this really great yellow orange delicious looking dish. It won't be that pale tofu color anymore. So now we're going to add the tomatoes and we're going to mix it in. Okay, I added some curry to it in addition to all the other spices because I like mine a little bit spicier. You may not want yours as spicy, so you may not want to add the curry, but it also adds a different dimension of flavor to the dish. It makes it a little bit more Eastern. So pretty much all we're going to do now is just wait for it to cook down. There's a lot of water that's being released, so just let it cook off until it gets pretty thick because we're going to want this to stay on top of something. I'm using French bread. You can use any other type of bread. Pita is really great with this. I really like pita bread with it. If you want to use roti, which is an Indian bread, that goes really great with it too. And of course the finale, you top off your bread. I toasted mine a little bit because I like it crunchy. You can top it off with whatever amount of helping, but as you can see I took a very large helping. It was a tough day, don't judge me. But and some salad on the side, just a regular salad. You can have whatever you want on the side. I don't really know exactly what the connoisseurs would prefer, but anyway, there you go. It's a really easy meal. It's really healthy, really delicious, and I hope you enjoy tofu. Hey, hope you enjoyed the first episode. I'm really excited about it. There's a lot of things that I learned from taping this first time and editing this first time that I'm going to change up for the next time because I've learned a lot more. But I do want you guys' suggestions again, suggestions for recipes that you want me to cover. Again, vegetarian. Desserts are included. I can do desserts too, just not baking items yet. Other suggestions, like maybe you couldn't catch what I was saying, or maybe I should speak slower, or things like that too will really help me. I feel like I was kind of zipping through the recipe. The recipe itself will be written out in the description below. This is posted on YouTube, so if you're seeing this on Facebook, go to my YouTube and then you'll see in the description the actual recipe. It'll also be on my Tumblr. My Tumblr is stacievalgren.tumblr.com. The recipe will also be posted there as well as this video. Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot that you support me, and I really hope that you try out this recipe. It really is one of my favorites. Just some added notes about this recipe. I usually would add some like thyme or basil or some type of fresh herb in there. I don't have any here, so I didn't add any. But if you have any of those things, just play with the recipe. Don't be really strict about it. Like, as you can see, I just like added a whole bunch of stuff to it. The spices are also really negotiable. Like, if you feel like you want it a little bit more savory or a little bit more sweet or anything like that, tofu is something that you can make it taste like whatever you want it to taste. So, because it's a blank slate, literally it's a blank slate. It tastes like nothing. It tastes like water. So what you add to it, it'll taste like that. So also, there was part of the video that I think I kind of slipped up on the naming of it. It was in this ingredient, the Sazon by Goya, the company. I looked at the package afterwards and I was like, oh, whoops. So this is found in I think I got them in Publix or Walmart. I mean, anywhere has it. I think it's in the international aisle. Specifically, there are different types of it. Like this one, for instance, has like a green coloring in the background of the title. The one that I use for this recipe has like an orange coloring in the background, and that means that it'll make your food turn the color of the red or orange in it. There's a white one also. If you don't want it to turn that color, then whatever, but I just think the color makes it look a little bit more appealing than like the color of tofu is kind of like blah. So if you want to use any, like this one's cilantro and it's green on the background, so if you wanted to add this instead, whatever, but this is the actual package, so just so you all know. Bye!
Shake